Hey, what's up, YouTubers, day traders, and market participants? Your boy is back with another episode, and the market is just ripping. It's the first day of October. Market hits an all-time high. What is in store for us? That is what I'm going to be diving in this video. But if you are always coming to YouTube to find the latest picks, you're not really sure why they're buying it, maybe because of this, and that you have found the right channel. Subscribe to this channel because I will show you exactly how to look at a chart so that you can further make better decisions. When you hear a stock, you can just look at the chart and kind of know exactly what is going on. No secrets, nothing. It's just right in front of you through the charts, guys. And so, without further ado, let's jump into it. All right, guys. First off, let's start with the SPY, and the SPY has just been ripping, guys. There's nothing else to say about it. It actually looks really crazy. Now, this candle here did start off the 8 moving average. What does that mean? That means we could get another follow through candle. Kind of how we have this one right here. We can kind of get, you see how it pops up. This one popped up, and then from the 8 moving average, and you kind of get this another push up just a little bit. Um, Here you can see it coming from the 20s, but then you got this nice drive. So here, the fact that we're coming off of this level, off of the 8 right here, I mean, who knows what this net? I think we could hit easily, 670 and then maybe 71 or 72. And then I'm not sure. We have no idea. We just know that the market has been pumped up for a very long time. As you can see, we've just had this crazy run and really no weeks of just like we had 1 week of compression. There was more weeks of compression here, but the price action still was positive. So, I mean, it's been a long time. This was 1 week, right, where we pulled back pretty heavy, but it's been quite the journey to the upside. So, wait, not all hands deck on puts yet. We got to see some sign of a reversal first. We saw some stalling last week, right? This week we're getting another push up, so we'll see how far this push goes and what kind of territory we take on. All right, guys, let's address the elephant in the room. That was DraftKings, guys. I did mention it, and wow, they just got absolutely crushed. Actually, very depressing. It's very, very depressing to see this. I was holding this level, and then bam, this candle just came through with violence, and it just broke through all major supports. It's coming into an area where you can see, like in April, this was a price you could have got in at April at tariff lows, right? Um, but wow, just an incredible, incredible downside, and then not even a good bounce. It was a dead cat bounce. It was up like 2, 3% in the morning, and then it just continued to sell off. Very, very wicked, guys. Very, very wicked. Um, and I guess it's just a wait and see now with DraftKings. Honestly, I mean, this is massive, guys. This candle, look at this weekly candle. I mean, it's bigger than all this. This one comes close, and this one comes close, right? This one's very, very similar in size, right? But it was at the highs. You're telling me this is at a kind of like a neckline back down into support. Hopefully it holds here. This will be the area for it to hold. You could kind of already buy long terms, but the fact that you got this type of action on a 2 day action kind of can tell me that, I'm gonna need to see some green here first, maybe two greens like that, kind of taking out this red, would look better for a long-term pickup. I mean, you got NFL, I mean, football is right here, right now. So, I mean, like, it's kind of crazy to see that it tanked this heavy uh, during this time. We can kind of see where, okay, as you can see, this is basically right here is the start of October as well. So it kind of trended down in October. And then the last week, or the first week of November, week of November last year, right? This is all last year. It got a jump up here. That was the first week of November, right? So maybe that's the problem. Maybe we're too early for the NFL trade or whatever. But this is a good area. This is technically bunch of support here, up, crash. This was the tariff warnings. Was a ceiling for a little bit, got above it, support, pushed up. So now we violently crashed into support though. So that doesn't that is very sketchy. I would be very, very safe. Enough talking about DraftKings. Let's move on. Another one I mentioned was Coin, and it is continuing to move right off of that zone that I mentioned right here, this moving average. I was a buyer right here, perfect execution. I held this candle because I knew we were just going to get a little bit of a push up. I held this one because I wasn't too satisfied. This one I sold. I sold half position right here. Why? Because we're at that 350 mark. I sold half. This was a nice, easy play. That's good. I got a little bit left because I like the weekly. Look at the weekly. The weekly looks perfect. If it were to close here, if it stalls here for the next 2 days, the fact that it just takes out this red candle near this moving average is perfect. So this is the weekly chart. So if we get another, like, as you can see, when it does that type of stuff, it pushes up pretty hard. When you get that green taking over red. Get that green taking over red. So now we're here. Green took over red here. Got a push. Came back. Hopefully it pushes. So we'll see. We'll see. But I like this for a little bit more of a run. Maybe we get 400 next week. We'll see. We'll see if the momentum continues in coin. I like it. Nike. Nike was a bit of a shakeout, guys. Nike was kind of rough. Uh, very rough right here. I did not like this day. This is technically the day that I got out. I definitely got out on that day. This brought me back in though. I liked this because we were under it, but you could see that the price action was a tweezer. And then I heard earnings was on this day, so I was like, okay, so we got earnings coming up. So kind of like an earnings play type mentality, but just buying anything off these white lines is very good because it just kind of, well, for this stock is it's been beaten down, but for it to hold it here was very crucial. Now look at the weekly. The weekly looks very good. You got perfect opportunity for green to take over red in a very key area. Why is it key? Because this moving average right here, it's coming up to it. It's coming up to the purple moving average. So we're above it for a while, right? We got price action above it, and now we're coming back down. And like I said, I want that price average to like kind of hold it, kind of be a fence, hits into it, and it bounces off, right? So as of right now, that is a perfect. If the week were to close right now on Nike, this would look very good going into next week and or the end of the year from here. I like what Nike did through that earnings. Big Bear. I was about to say Baba. Big Bear AI looks very good as well. It's doing perfectly. You got your first move here, solid move. Cut it in threes, right? Boom, boom. I guess that's more of a middle. This one's more of a middle, but this would be in thirds, right? But what I want you to take away from this is look at this big move, right? We got this big move. Now, if we cut it in half, it's perfect. It's picture perfect, guys. This is the big move we got. Cut it in half. It came back to the half mark first, right? 50% retracement, Fibonacci, whatever you want to say, whatever you want to call it. But I like this because we have gotten a green candle that officially has taken over the previous red. So now we have a very good setup here where red was in control going down, stall, consolidation, green pop right back up. So now we can just put our stop under here. And I already bought this. I bought already. So I'm just gonna now wait. I'm gonna wait back up to these $8, or even if it goes higher from here, because now we have, this is what the weekly looks like. So now we actually have already, this was a clear indication that we wanted to go up. 2 weeks ago, Big Bear AI was telling me that it wanted to go up. 2 weeks ago. This week, it told me that there was basically a bunch of there's a bunch of sellers here, bunch of action going on here. But as this week has started, we went down, but we've been bought up the entire time as this week has started. So let's see where this week goes. We could come up to this 8 mark, and then if we get really crazy, we might end up hitting 10 and whatnot, maybe in a week or two, potentially, right? If all market conditions stay intact. Now, those all were pretty, and we're gonna go over one more. These ones that I just mentioned are high risk, are higher risk. They're growth companies, so obviously with interest rates being cut, they have some sort of they just have some sustain. All right, I thought this did close, it did not. So basically on here on this chart, these two candles right here, they're in great territory with as far as moving averages. All moving averages are just slightly below them, which is perfect. I don't like that this purple rejected it. I do not like that. Did not see that towards the end there. I was really hoping it was above it, but basically the candle before it opened up at 1182. So I wanted this candle to close above 1182, which it was above 1182. I guess it just probably the last few minutes just sold off. Let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. Yeah, just the last 15 minutes, man. Last 15 minutes just was ugly, but it was above. It was above. So, uh, who knows what that could mean? I might be looking into it too much because I'm a long-term trader anyways, but I do like what it's doing here. We've gotten above crucial key moving averages. We're above all of them, which is perfect. And now we're getting a green, basically 99%, 98% takeover for green, right? For the Bulls, basically take over key area. So we'll see what happens. As you can see, when you kind of come down to these moving averages, it can act as a band, right? So now I'm hoping that this purple one kicks in and holds as a band. And even if it doesn't, and we kind of dilly-dally down here for a while, it still doesn't mean the trend is broken. The trend is still intact, and that's what I like to see. On the weekly, we actually look really good. All the moving averages are kind of right here, right now, curling up. So maybe serve is set to explode. Who knows? Very speculative play, guys. One that's more safe is Pepsi and Coca-Cola actually kicked off today really well, really, really well. As you can see, that 140 line that I was telling you was we were holding it really well. This day probably scared a lot of people. Had you stuck to 140 being a strict, if it breaks it, I'm out. I did not. I kept watching it, and then I loved that the next day gave us some green, and then this day gave us a lot of green. However, we have all these moving averages above us, which means that is area of resistance. As you can see, the last time we got here, it rejected it very ugly. Here, rejected it very ugly. So we'll see what the next day brings. If it's just another complete sell-off, which would be bad. However, if it were to close like this on the week, this is perfect. This is exactly what I what I was saying with Nike. They look very similar in a sense where you have this green taking over red, being cuffed, being grabbed and being supported by this moving average. And why this one? Because we've been above it for quite some time. The green is not going to be into consideration yet because we were only above it for a little bit, but the purple, this is a long enough time for it to have some say so, right? So we'll see what happens here for sure. On this next week with Pepsi, it looks great. I believe Coca-Cola is in the same spot. Not on the weekly, I don't believe, but on the yeah, on the weekly. Oh my, wow. Yeah, this looks good, guys. This looks good. I liked it right here when we finally got some green taking over red. And now we got two up, but this purple line can definitely act as some resistance. And then on the weekly, oh, you got this great bulls taking over so far. Key moving average so far looks good, guys. As you can see, the last time Coca-Cola came down here, shot straight up, down here, shot straight up. So we'll see if history tends to repeat itself with Coca-Cola. All right, and then another slower mover also is SLB. Very, very slow mover, but I like it as well, just in case if we get that risk off rotation into, some of the more staple stocks. You got green taking over red, and all these moving averages right here are compressing. Very, very, that's good because then they'll start to separate eventually as time goes on in either or direction. And same thing or down here. I mean, if you were had a long-term look on this, you can't go wrong with buying 33. You can't go wrong with buying 33, 32. Long-term look on it. We've been down here since April, right? We've been down here at these levels since April. Hopefully we can break through this top right here of 37 with this being the run, maybe this is the run where this movie, because this moving average now is flat. This white one in here, it's very, very flat, which is good, which means it's going to be respected as soon. It's not respecting it yet because it went through it too many times right here, but I do like that we have basically the Bulls have taken over. And if you could see this previous day, this is a pretty big reversal as well, where you got this selling half the day, then buying the rest of the day. So, um, and then a continuation. So I really like what SLB is doing as well, guys. All right, that's gonna be it. Do excuse the gym attire. Sometimes I just come straight from the gym right in here, start recording, and or right after the market, still in my gym clothes, right? That's how it is. But I am not a financial advisor, guys. Do your own due diligence before you buy, sell, or hold anything. I am not telling you what to do at all. This is what I'm doing with my own money. So I hope you guys just enjoyed the education and me just talking over these charts, but I'm not suggesting you to buy, sell, or hold anything, right? Well, I hope that's was good information for you guys. If you learned something new, subscribe. And I hope you guys had a good trading day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.